Hello. I feel like it's been so long. I can't wait to play more Letter. I've been thinking about it for weeks. I don't know if Savannah's going to join or not, but it's been ages. Ugh, it's been a fucking week at work. Would you like to see my bruise? Probably one of many. Oh yeah, there's another one. Then what about this side? Nothing. Nothing on that side. Children pinching me. That's what happened. Now the camera won't focus. Hello? Okay, that's better. Yeah, children pinching me. That's what happened. That's what I mean when I say it's been a fucking week. Today was real bad. Those are from a couple days ago, though. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty normal. It kind of comes with the job. Fuck. I thought about having a bit of a drunk stream, but I don't know about that right now. I don't know if Savannah's coming, but I guess we could just get started. Savannah can either watch the video or she can join in whenever she wants. Let's play. Yeah. I would if I were you. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about what had happened. So Marianne came back from the bar, drunk as F, and now we're joining her back at her house. And look it, there's hardly any. Let's look at all this stuff right now. We'll listen to her snore. Okay. Ooh, everything's really lagging hard on me right now. Oh. Sounds like me when I sleep, but much louder. Okay, here we go. Mumbling a sleepy thanks, I doze off on the spot, face pressed on the counter. Already, I dread the pain I'll have for sleeping in such a position. When you gotta go, you gotta go. What is, like, to the bathroom? Oh boy, we're jumping right into it today.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie? Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. Unless you ask, that is.
Not that I can get much sleep to begin with. Oh my god, what a way to start. And to think we were that close to ending a day. How would you fucking know? Oh, what I wanted to look at was this. Because I know there's not much left of her. Rebecca, like, we're give it like 30 minutes and we'll be done with Marianne. I'm sure of it. Because that's all we have left. And Rebecca, Ashton, and Luke's are so long. But we'll finish Marianne up. Lickety split. Alright. Do people ever have the feeling that they're outside on, or that they're outside? Actually, pause for one more second. Back to the book. It is, so she went out and she got drunk. Wait. Marianne went out. Wait. The interior designer wants to get drag her frustrations away. Okay. I didn't even check and see what fucking date. It's always the worst. You don't. Yeah, I know. Like, if I would have continued playing for 10 more seconds after last time, I would have just finished up that day. Did you catch what day we're on? Because we're slowly. Last night was the 26th. Or the last night they showed us. Is it the 28th? Did it say the 28th? Because the party is the 28th. It's been a little while. I need to get myself back on track here. Okay. Do people ever have the feeling that they're working on something they really enjoy, but still it eventually tires them out? Me. Every fucking day of my working life. Because honestly, I've been feeling like this.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Though moments like these make me feel all the hard work was worth it. Definitely.
Well, I can't take all the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
We're only about halfway done, but the honest satisfaction on a client's face is enough for me to push through. Let's face it, in between my exasperation at Mr. Wright's antics and her, I've been burning the candles at both ends. I can't even close my eyes without seeing a dead girl's face. Ugh, dead girl. Dead. She's dead. I have to keep reminding myself that, burying my feelings as deep as they've buried her body, 6 feet under. Damn. I wouldn't waste so much time on someone who's supposed to be gone. I've wasted so many years thinking about her already. There should be no need to bother myself with the dead when I should be bothering myself with the living. Too bad the living are usually as complicated, if not more, than ghosts of the past.
But don't you have a party?
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting, he's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
It's even more complicated when the living in question is a pair of rich and famous socialites way past their honeymoon phase. Yeah. Me. Okay.
They've
Oh,
been married
I
for
missed
a long
reading
time,
that, but
and
whatever.
they've had how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband. But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But, if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Why she thinks a single woman like me would be the best source of relationship advice is beyond me. Still, I talk and answer to the best of my abilities. without realizing I'm already pouring out a part of me that I had thought were long gone. I'd like to believe my words will be of some help to Mrs. Wright. If I'm honest, though, they are of some help to me, like some weight have been taken off my shoulders. I feel like I'm having problems reading, but then I read back what I'm reading, and there's words that don't make sense, so maybe it's not me. Lorraine.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party.
Okay, it's the day of the party. It's the 28th. Okay. Shit's about to go down. Shit's about to go down.
Oh, you really must, Marianne.
The weight of what happened to her hasn't left me yet, did it? Maybe.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least.
Oh boy. Those Lees won't be your friends for long.
If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
Ooh, maybe it's about time I change that.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
Though I shouldn't dwell on the dead, I shouldn't just callously forget about them either. Saying that I have work left to do is an easy enough excuse to make. I know how other people see me. They see someone so obsessed with her craft that she would so easily miss things like a party for it. Outside the parlor, people hurry about here and there in preparation for the Wright's grand housewarming party. None spare me a glance as I slip past them, each working on their appointed roles and not daring to slack off while they work for what is probably the most powerful couple in Luxburn. I knew it. I know she'd be beckoned back here. I make it into the kitchen with ease, the wine cellar being my final destination. She wants to see. She's fucking pulling a Bella. Like, literally, I called it. Although I've seen this before, but, she's fucking pulling a Bella. It's like, oh, when can I see the illusion of my missing or / dead loved one? It's like, quit chasing the dragon, girl. Give it up. Give it up. But when is a great task ever simple? Probably never. And this is a great task, isn't it? My greatest one yet that is worthy of being called a quest. I'm not acting as Marianne McCullough, the professional interior designer, when I choose to lie about being too busy for a party. I'm Marianne McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma. Just thinking of it like that makes it a bit cheesy, but it helps with the fear. Helps overcome the insane thought that I'm actively seeking out something that has been plaguing me for years. I might face my worst nightmare, or I might see nothing and find my imagined grand quest fall flat. And who would have thought that the gatekeeper to my final quest would be someone I thought would be a valuable ally?
Schnell! Hurry up, you snails! We are on a deadline and you are wasting my time!
The butler comes from the cellar and into the kitchen, tailed by a couple of others, people who I assume are most likely chefs and bartenders. He raises a brow, seeing me just standing there by the hatch, by the trap door. It almost looks like he's going to throw me out for being in the kitchen without permission. But then he motions for the others to disperse and familiarize themselves with their surroundings. Meanwhile, he continues to stand there, preventing entry into the darkness beyond.
What are you doing here, Fraulein? This is not the place for guests or in an architect right now. I request you leave.
I was just looking around for any last-minute things, yes?
Yes, you have been doing that a lot. Looking around, snooping about. Now is not the time for such things. If you're not careful, people might think you are
Up
to something.
The look he gives me as he says this is almost chilling. If life was a game book, he'd probably be the true neutral warlock guarding the treasure room. A difficult opponent to beat with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in dexterity.
Well, I'm not done yet. I actually need to go into the wine cellar. Just need a quick go at the place. So just don't mind me. I'll be out of your hair soon enough.
Go outside, enjoy the party. Bask in the praise and adulation they will no doubt shower you with when the madam speaks highly of you. Surely you've had enough of this stuffy old kitchen by now. You do not want to cause trouble. Both the bratwurst and Hannah want this to be perfect. It would be a disservice and disrespect to toe out of line and risk it being anything otherwise. And more importantly, I will be blamed for any failure that happens tonight.
His intervention almost turns me away. Maybe this is a sign I'm not meant to seek Lorraine out, but...
Please, I just lost something the last time I was down there. It's really important.
Okay. So that was the two little yep. So now we're almost done. There's the last little bitsy.
15 minutes. 9, 10 minutes. Any longer and I'll pull you out of there myself.
Is it 9 or 10 minutes? I know.
The bratwurst will be furious if he thinks anyone is touching his precious wine without his permission.
Thank you. This seriously means a lot.
Get ready. Here it comes. We're about to fucking... Shit's about to go down. He steps aside begrudgingly. At this point, it looks like there's no turning back. The cellar greets me ominously as I descend. They hung the mirror down there. Yeah, I know. I like how he calls them a bratwurst. They fucking hung the... Oh, yeah, that's right. He did tell him to store it in the wine cellar for now, just because they wanted it out of the way. Oh. I don't know if I read what she just said, but... Oh well. The space feels smaller, with a lot more bottles lining the wall compared to before, and knowing what might be waiting for me here makes things worse. I almost hope, in a morbid and twisted sense, that Lorraine would just be standing there waiting for me. It would just be like her to joke about inappropriate meeting in dark, secluded areas. But just like the broken bottles and wine that was spilled on the ground before, no trace of her can be found.
Lorraine! Where are you, Lorraine?
Oh, girl, you are crazy now. You are crazy town, Marianne.
I miss you, you know?
Only silence replies. Funny that when you want to find something, that's the time when you can't. I know, that is pretty funny, isn't it? The thought that I wouldn't be able to see Lorraine one last time fills me with such despair. Sure, it was crazy to come here willingly in the first place, but all I'm really looking for is closure. Let it go, girl. That's funny. And if I can't see her, the least I can do is offer her a prayer. On the verge of tears, I kneel in the middle of a dark, damp wine cellar and put my hands together in prayer.
May God grant her eternal rest and...
That is when her laughter fills the air. It rings along the walls until it echoes in my head. And like a siren song, it draws me in before it comes to a stop upon reaching a dead end.
Ooh, could it be an adventure then? A secret passage? There must be a hidden switch somewhere. Go look. This is the most interesting thing you've done by far.
A secret entrance, although the idea in and of itself is insane, only makes this entire endeavor even more perilous, but I need to find a way to open it. Already I'm running my hands against the wall in order to find some sort of hidden switch. It didn't give when I tried to push it open before, and I doubt that would have changed anytime soon. But if there's a door, there's always a way to open it, hopefully without the need to break it down.
Shame I can't roll for perception checks in real life.
Oh my god, you nerd. It's such a silly thing to say out loud, though there is no amusement on my face, and I do check, glancing at the mirror from the study.
Though a sanity check would be more fitting right now, wouldn't it?
I mean, how long have I been down here searching for the switch of a hidden door? In order to go find a dead girl, no less. It isn't only unreasonable, it's insane. At this point, they'll find me clawing at the walls, gnawing at the iron bars of my enclosure, using my nails to try and see if there are any grooves or catches I might have missed. I'm surprised I haven't gone past the 10 minutes that he has given me, or that was given to me, and that I'm not being hauled out of here. I don't want to bank on the chance that I might have more time, although I know it's... Ugh, I really shouldn't let these kind of things bother me too much right now. If I don't continue looking, there's no point in me going down here. Dirt and rocks stick underneath my fingernails in my search, but there. A section of wall about the size of my palm, just as well hidden as the hollow wall is a switch, or a button, rather.
Face it, Tigress. You've just hit the jackpot.
Okay, damn. Tigress? That's hot. The excitement I feel at the discovery finds me pressing it without a second thought. And then a click echoes in the cellar and the hidden door creaks open. I stop. What should I do? What should we do? I feel like we need to do the ballsy thing and try to get I mean, I'm sure you were gonna say go in, but we're this close to a memory fragment. We have to do the ballsy thing. No time like the present day. I have to hurry, and I turn around when there's a crash. In my haste, I bumped into the mirror, making it fall to the ground and shatter into 100 pieces. And shit, I hope that isn't an original piece. I don't think my insurance will be able to cover it. I can probably find an imitation to replace it, and... The door slams shut behind me, and I nearly have a heart attack because of it. But when I see a much more visible lever on this side, I calm down and shake my head. On the other side is a passageway, an underground tunnel that has me mystified for a mere moment until I realize what it holds. So I wonder if there's that. Yeah. I don't think the hoopla is happening yet, but yeah, it's a fucking dungeon. Dude. Cells closed off by heavy iron bars on the sides. A general sense of death and decay lingers heavy though the years should have taken away most, if not all, of the stench. Okay, I have to check this quick. Alright, we went that away. Oh. I wonder what the story update was that led us to go up this way rather than go down. Because I don't think this is something we could have chosen. Because here or here, we would have gotten two options. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. Something's about to happen. Oh, I think I read that. A general sense of death and decay lingers heavy, though the years should not have taken away most, if not all, of the stench. Of the foul smells of humans and corpses alike being left to rot. The breeze, most likely coming from the other end of the hallway that goes through, is to thank for that. If the place had been enclosed like a mausoleum, I imagine the odor would be fouler than it is now.
Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless these poor souls.
Oh. Girl, I hope you... From what I remember... I think I'm remembering things correctly. And I hope you're able to, like, start to put things together here soon. I can't wait for, like, everything to click with you guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Though the architecture of their time was magnificent, human rights wasn't exactly a big thing back then. And if the Ermengarde mansion had a place like this hidden away, who knows what sorts of heinous acts were done down here. There's no time to dwell on it further, though. Not when... A ghastly thing, a corpse of a woman, leans on the wall. Her arms and limbs, almost every inch of her lithe body, is peppered with wounds and rotting flesh. And it is then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making it so that I don't even question how I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here? Oh, that smell. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I flinch as the thing twitches. And as soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run in my high-heeled boots. I try to keep on running no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep going even when I look back and see nothing of her anymore because I can still hear her. The scampering of her feet, the words she tries to form with her bloodied mouth, and the painful sound of bones grinding against each other as she moves closer and closer to me.
How long are these damn tunnels?
There's a split second where I know that thing is right behind me, a strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then suddenly, I can't even do anything before I'm yanked by the hair and pulled back. Still, I struggle up until I'm thrown to the side like some rag doll. I hit the ground on my side, and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is my only indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me.
My body hurts, and I keep my eyes shut tight, afraid of what might happen next.
What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
There's a flash of hope. She can help me, save me from that thing. And as I see her smile, the same one that thing had, the same one that thing have. See what I mean? I feel like I'm not just fucking up. I feel like it's the words. I know that this isn't Lorraine. I am a fool to think so in the first place. It never could have been her to begin with. Yeah, you're fucking, you're a lunatic, Marianne. You're seeing visions and you think they're real, but you know this girl. I can't keep going. The real Lorraine is dead. Yeah, no shit. She looms over me, backs me further in the cell that I was thrown in.
What are you?
Oh, it's a video camera. I was like, what the fuck is that? That's for sure like a video camera. Lorraine turns and shifts into that thing from before. And with that same gruesome grin, it takes a step forward towards the cell, towards me. I barely scramble to my knees when the door to my cell slams shut and it just stands there staring. Shouts for help ring out in the tunnels, but none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed and shocked by what is happening. My throat tightens at being fooled by the image of Lorraine, at the thought of being trapped down here. And then where? Oh, never mind. I guess I don't need to look at that. So then where?
Help me! Help me! Oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera, Carl? Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here. Don't worry. The owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though. It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait. I have an idea. Oh man, that's genius!
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack. That Suarez kid would panic.
Guys? What? Spit it out! Behind you!
There in the corner of the cell, a digital camera comes flickering to life, and a video has played back on the screen. It was hard to even consider paying any attention to it when my life is on the line. But when the ghost doesn't move and the teenagers' mocking shouts of "help me" filled the cell, I just had to watch. Wimpy kid. And what I had seen, students judging by their St. Goretti uniforms. They were holding...
The letter.
And that thing, the woman, she... Oh. Tell me you saw that. Oh my god. Why was she her? Why did she turn into was our Lady Ermengarde? Why did she turn into her? What reason would she have to turn into her? Marianne doesn't know who that is. She's into Lorraine and also Hannah. Why would she turn in? She's not her. Is she? No. No. I'm very perplexed by that. Is that it? It's it. No! We didn't get the memory fragment. Fuck! You're kidding me. Oh, god damn it. Damn it. Okay, what the fuck though? Why did she turn into her? They are not the same person. Or they are they? Why would she turn into her? No, that doesn't mean that's the same person. But like, why of all people would that be who this ghost girl would turn into? I know. I mean, I'm sure there's more factors that go into the memory fragments than just like the last move being ballsy. But we fucked Luke. That was ballsy. God damn it. Oh, fuck. That screen was black for so long. So, did you pick up what just happened? Those kids found that letter, but they added that last bit. The, like, show this to 5 people or else. They added that bit. So that was not original. That piece was added by those stupid kids. Who then got their shit rocked. Okay. Okay, let's start Rebecca then, I guess? Fucking A, that sucks. That sucks. Oh, wow. God damn it. Oh, let's look at Rebecca's branching tree now that we... Oh. See, this is what I'm talking about. Holy moly. Look at that top path and how much... That bottom path, too. Oh my god, you can miss so much. This, look at this tiny little red bar. Holy moly. Look at how much shit you can miss. Look at right here. Look at this top path up here. Ready? It goes wee. And that's, you can miss all that bullshit. And then we're not even halfway through. Oh my god, her paths are crazy. I don't know if it adapted the like phrase of show this to 5 people or else. I think anybody who physically sees the letter. Because those kids picked up the letter, added that thing, but they all had looked at it, and then the ghost was like, surprise, bitch. But I don't think it has anything to do with the show 5 people or else. It's just everybody who had been starting to be haunted was in the presence of the letter before they started getting haunted. So I'm sure, I mean, this game is literally called The Letter. I'm sure the letter has some significance. But no, I don't think that the ghost is in on the little prank. Okay, I guess let's start on Rebecca then, shall we? This is how it begins, or so they say. With a gentle wind drifting through wide open windows, muffled laughters, and footsteps fading behind empty hallways, and the light kiss of the afternoon sun. Therefore, soon there will be a call, a crossing of thresholds into the unknown. What are you fucking talking about, Rebecca? Maybe we are off to some grand adventure? Or diving into another gripping mystery? One can't really tell. For all I know, a hero might even come sweep me off my feet if I'm lucky.
That's not exactly a bad thing when you think about it.
This is far from one, isn't it? A riveting tale, that is. What in the hell are you talking about? Or are you like daydreaming? The mild breeze, the faint murmurs, the warm rays painting every nook and cranny a fiery hue. They are all as real as they can get. As much as I want to write a little tale out of this, I'm far from someone who can. Fleeting fancies, that's what these are, merely passing thoughts to occupy my idle mind while waiting for another busy workday to end. That was me today, dude. Disassociate as fuck. Then again, maybe in another life, I am one. Who knows? But at present, what I have and what I've chosen to be, well...
I won't last years here if I find teaching rowdy adolescents a tedious job, will I?
Admittedly, the whole affair isn't exactly as grand or exciting as I had imagined as a child. If I weren't so stubborn and too passionate about the whole idea, I probably would have quit a long time ago. But it's always the kids that make it worthwhile, isn't it? You know, I may not be a teacher, but I can relate to this. Becca, I'll give you a little bit of a pass. As if in agreement, as soon as my pen slides into the neat circle against the papers I'm grading, the final bell rings. Like a dam that has opened, students begin piling out into the hallway soon after. For a short minute, I let the noise fill my ears, let my mind wander to a place far removed from all the hubbub. Solitary moments like this have come few and far between lately. Even my own home hasn't been as quiet as usually I prefer. Though in hindsight, the entire place hasn't been the same either since Isabella moved in next door. And if her fussing over a minor cold last week tells anything, I might as well throw any idea of solitude out the nearest balcony so long as she lives nearby. At the memory, my eyes automatically shift over the bottle sitting at the edge of my desk. A chuckle escapes from me as I reach for it.
A little ball of energy and enthusiasm. That big baby.
Mother Hen, she calls me, and then she says, and does the same thing right after. It's not that I'm unused to being, what a word, to being on the receiving end of other people's worries, or I feel any sort of apprehension over her fretting. If I am to be completely honest, it's actually amusing how someone can be childlike one minute, then act like a responsible adult the next. Maybe because they're not being childlike is not being childish. Also, Rebecca talks like very pretentious, and I don't like it. This is her inner monologue, and she's like, oh, it's actually so amusing. It's like, shut the fuck up, bitch. And if there's a dissonance there, both in her actions and words, although she may not like it, she may not say anything, may not lose her cheer one way or another. I know these troubles have weighed down on her lately. Yeah, exactly. Cut her some slack. Her face says it all, that big numpty. We say that all the time. We always say numpty. And she thinks I won't notice. She's got another thing coming for her. That's how she has always been. I do understand that part loud and clear. It's just that I really rather not another burden. I really rather not pass another burden onto her. Shouldn't it be I'd really rather not pass?
Or become one myself.
Aren't I supposed to be the one taking care of them? Though I guess that's simply one of those things people eventually grow away from once you've all started leading different lives. Not completely different, I hope. Somehow, that thought makes me feel uneasy. Thankfully, before stranger ideas can take root in my head, a faint buzzing comes from my bag, cutting through the rest of my thoughts. A small frown forms in my lips when the screen lights up and an unknown number flashes. For a long second, my thumb hovers over the answer button. Even the voice that responds, once I do accept the call, is wholly unfamiliar.
Hello?
Oh, goodness. Finally, it connects.
Is this Rose?
Hello? Is this Miss Gales? Rebecca Gales?
Yes, Yes, speaking. Who is this?
Oh, sorry. Rose Cooper.
Okay.
Briar Realty Corporation.
Briar Realty?
My frown deepens as I straighten from my chair. Something in her tone, despite sounding remarkably friendly and light, doesn't sit quite well with me. The rigid pause that follows doesn't help ease the tension that has suddenly descended either.
Miss Cooper?
That's soon to be dead, but I know it's been so long since she croaked that we've heard her voice.
Yes. Things are a bit busy on my end. I apologize. I'm not certain if Isabella has mentioned anything before, but we're working together on a property at the moment, and
The Armengard Mansion, yes. She said something about that earlier. Is there a problem?
this is about Isabella, actually.
She wastes no time relaying everything. The details she provided are admittedly a bit vague, but enough for me to get a gist of what happened. It isn't the bad sort I'm expecting, though still worrying, especially with words panic attack and pale looking a bit sickly woven together in one foreboding sentence. But as quickly as it surfaces, I stomp down on the urge to demand answers right there and then. Now isn't the proper time for useless questions. I'll find out soon enough regardless. To Miss Cooper's credit, she neither hesitates nor falters all throughout. There's some sort of comfort in knowing Isabella has someone like her to guide her, though not as much as I would have liked. After all, this is Isabella we're talking about. What are the chances she just said a bunch of excuses so she won't get sent home? High. Ah, well, okay. Very high. And to think, Isabella was so worried about, like, making a bad impression that she wouldn't get the sale, to get the money to send to her sick father. I can't tell if Becca thinks, like, lowly of her, or if she just thinks that she's, like, irresponsible and childish and blah, 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 blah. It's like, but you just said that you know what she's dealing with and you know her struggles, and I don't know. It just seems very... She doesn't really know Bella at all. I don't know. Oh, she is so going to hear it this time. Shut up, Becca.
You were listed as one of her emergency contacts, so I thought it'd be best you know about this.
How is she? Is she doing okay?
I had her take a break for now, but honestly, I'd feel better if someone were to pick her up and take her home for some rest. Anthem's a fair distance from Luxbourne. I really don't want her going off on her own.
Anthem's a fair distance from Luxbourne. And Zach was biking all that fucking way. I don't know. When I think of fair distance, I think like 40 miles. That's a fair distance. I wouldn't say a 30-minute drive is far. On a bike it is. 30 minutes on a bike? 30 miles on a bike? 40 miles on a bike? I don't know, whatever.
I do it myself, but you know how it is today. Big day. People everywhere until the open house ends. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, Miss Gales. I know you're busy.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was just about to leave from work. I hope to leave early today anyway. A few minutes ahead wouldn't hurt. I can be there in a few, 30, 40 minutes tops. Is that all right?
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. Their perception of far is a lot less than ours because everything's so, like, right there. But still. But Zach's not English. He's American. He's biking every fucking where. I don't know.
More than fine, Miss Gales. Thank you.
I can't stop yawning.
We're supposed to be here until... Oh, excuse me. One moment, please. Yes, ma'am.
A faint hum of conversation echoes from her end. It sounds as though the place is buzzing with more people than you'll expect from a regular open house. I was skeptical at first. The house is old, not to mention its inconvenient location in Luxburn's outskirts. Who wants to live in a place almost an hour's drive away from the comforts of the city? Zach biked that distance. Almost an hour's drive. Holy shit. Oh my god, Zach is a beast. For real. That's a lot of biking. Holy shit. And he had like a whole backpack full of stuff on him. An hour. God, this music is very loud in my ears. He's not lazy. That he's not. I feel like he could spare the money to the bike, to get a lift out there. But from what little I can hear, it appears Isabella has every right to be optimistic about this sale. If I didn't understand why she was so adamant refusing my offer to help before, I think I do now. To some degree.
We'll be resuming the tour soon. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. I really need to get this thing going. Lord knows how I'll salvage the situation here. It shouldn't be anything complicated, but still, clients. It can be difficult when they want to be. Anyway, just look for me when you get here, alright? I shouldn't be too hard to miss.
No problem. Thanks for letting me know about this. Just make sure Isabella stays put, please. Heaven knows how stubborn that girl can be.
So this is...
Believe me, I know. Don't worry about it. I'll have a few of our staff keep an eye on her for me until you get here.
That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
So what day is this? This is the first day, isn't it? Not this one. Not this one. I think it was this day, right? Yeah, because she talked to... So this is way back here. So this is... Ash picked her up, didn't he? Ash picked her up from... Oh, we're going to read about Rebecca in just a second, but... The first day when Isabella, like, fainted or saw the ghost in the mansion and it was, like, the beginning of the open house, Ash picked her up. So, Becca was on her way there to pick her up, but missed them, right? Because this is the day of the movie as well. Okay, anyway, we're reading Becca's. So, keep in mind all of these people's tragic backstories. Let's see what kind of trauma Becca has in her past. Although of Scottish descent, she grew up in Luxburn and even went to school in St. Goretti. Her parents were professors of European history and Southeast Asian history at Luxburn University. They were often busy, and that forced Rebecca to be independent early on. Surrounded by books and instilled with a love for learning, she was a star pupil and often called a teacher's pet for it. Her passion for academics leading to a career in the industry was to be expected of her. She came out of her shell in her high school years and started becoming the Spitfire she is now. Before then, Ashton was her only friend, though she found him aggravating at first. Independent and used to taking care of others, it was no surprise that she helped out the young foreigner who moves in next door. Oh, she atheist. Word. You are an Aries. I guess that makes sense. Oh, short bitch. Education. Master's degree in education, major in European history. Likes movies, reading in the library, going to the gym, cycling and jogging, lacrosse, and lesson plans. You're very, like, white toast, Becca. Very white bread, Wonder Bread kind of girl, doesn't she? Loves, stovies. I read that as movies, which I was going to be like, I like movie. Who doesn't like movies? Okay, stovies. That's a food thing. Okay. She's big fitness girl. Nerd and fitness girl. History girl. Fitness girl. Didn't see her to be an Aries, to be honest. I think I called her being a Libra, but I was wrong. But I'm still standing behind the fact that Luke is a Leo. So she didn't have much trauma, just that she kind of had a lonely childhood. Womp womp. Your rich professor parents weren't around all the time, but you were fucking left in a dumpster as a baby. Get over yourself, Becca. Thank goodness she's not a Libra. Yeah. Oh my god. I wouldn't call her a Spitfire. I don't know. I guess so. A hothead and a Spitfire to me. I mean, I guess they mean kind of the same thing, but she's more like a fucking bitch is what she is. The whole thing ends on a surprisingly pleasant note. If only the same can be said for the news she brought. I allow a brief minute to pass to ease whatever tension has latched itself firmly to my nerves, but no matter how much I wish for it, my mind stubbornly refuses to do so. My hands are unsteady against the papers I pretend to arrange after. Lucid thoughts, every single ounce of it, grimmer than the other, grows with each passing second I linger. Something about this whole thing, along with the sudden unease and nagging worry, screams off. Wrong. This isn't the riveting tale I've hoped to step into today. Even on a rush, getting everything in order before leaving takes nearly a good quarter hour. 15 minutes. Come on. By the time I make it out of the classroom, the commotion has already died down, dwindling to mere echoes and distant laughters. From the nearby room, melodies from a rehearsing band drifts freely into the air, filling the almost empty hallway with their warm, lively tunes. Oh, I like this girl's hair back here. That's cute. Any other day, I'll stop, bask in the music, and enjoy what little peace it brings. Not today, however. My steps are brisk and sure as I march to Edward Hall's exit. The sooner I confirm Isabella's okay, the sooner I can shake off this niggling feeling. Okay. Good, interesting choice of words. Welcome to being the middle child, Becca. Was she middle child? Oh, just lonely child existence. She was an only child, I think she said, but I see what you're saying. For one reason or another, that single call of all possible things has thrown everything off kilter. I'd rather this be over with as quickly as possible, so much that I nearly barrel over a student in my haste. Though perhaps it's really the other way around. Now, okay, I knew it was gonna be her, but look at the difference. She's what, maybe 6, 7 years old? I think she maybe has told us in the past, but she's young. She's real young. These are all like easily high school age people. These are very old children back here, like 15, 16. Why is this teeny tiny child walking the same hallways as these clearly like high school aged people? It beats me. When I look down, a set of eyes, bright and hopeful, stare back at me. Her arms are wrapped around my waist like a vice, and at my attention, a grin spreads over her face.
Buenas tardes, Miss Pink.
Aw, Miss Pink.
Hello, Kylie. You know, you aren't supposed to run into people like that.
Sorry, Miss Pink.
Aw, that's a cute nickname. That's funny. I get that, but there still are separate wings. Even in the school that I'm in, kindergarten is down its own wing. There's no reason why they would ever be. I guess the art room is down that way. I guess, but usually the high school is not attached. Usually, like, 4th and 5th grade have their own wing. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade have their own wing. Kindergarten has their own wing. Like, the only semi-meeting points are the gym and the cafeteria. But there still are different, like, time frames that they... Like, kindergarten eats earlier than 5th grade does. 5th grade is the last to eat. Like, and it's like a good 2 hours in between there. So I just don't, like I said, other than like specials, like art or music or something that like there would only be one room for that they would have to come down to. I'm gonna watch recap. I can't even type one more. That's no problem. Just happy to know you're here. Yeah, I'm just ranting about kindergartner, like small children being in the same vicinity as high school. I just don't think that's safe either. How many kids go to this school? I have a lot of questions. She loosens her hold on me, but not a hint of guilt or regret appears on her. If anything, it seems the remark only amused her. A smile appears on my face before I can help it, matching the one on her own.
Just remember not to do it again, all right? You could get hurt.
You sound like my mama when she's scolding Rowan, Miss Pink.
I'm sure your mama only means well. I know she'll be worried sick if one of you were to get hurt.
In that video with those kids in a cellar dungeon, didn't somebody say the name Rowan? I feel like I remember that because I'm like, oh, that name sounds familiar to me. And now she just said it, but all those people died, didn't they? So it can't be the same one. Okay.
Where's your brother anyway? Aren't you two supposed to be heading home now?
Rowan said he's got some stuff he needs to do before we go. I think he's taking too long. But he promised to buy me jelly babies today if I keep what he's doing a secret from Mama and Papa.
Any chance you'll tell Miss Pink about it?
She shakes her head, both her hands going to her mouth as if to keep a precious secret from spilling out.
I made a promise.
That voice line sounded weird.
She said it to her Tia Luke.
Why is she... Oh, she's talking through her fingers. I was like, why does it sound so fucking muffled, like she's talking through a tube?
Oh, something like a gift?
Like a deal. Tio promised to take him somewhere cool when he's old enough. Rowan's gonna prove he's a grown-up.
Laughter slips free from my lips. The teacher in me wants to give whoever this Tio is a reprimand for bringing about this kind of behavior in children. And if both Suarez's kids are so fond of him, there shouldn't be anything to worry about, yes? At any rate, they're nothing but well behaved, both Kylie and her brother. Rowan, the eldest, may have an occasional odd streak in and out of class, but their parents taught them well. I see no reason to cast any suspicion of bad behavior on them.
As long as it isn't anything dangerous, all right?
Yes, good point. She probably is in here waiting for him. You're right.
It's not. Cross my heart. My drawings are a lot prettier than what he's doing anyway. Tio said so. Do you want to see? I drew one earlier at class.
Is that why you're here?
Not really. I was gonna show it to my friend first. But since it's you, I'm sure she wouldn't mind if you see it before she does.
Oh no. I can't stay right now, Kylie.
Her face falls immediately after the words are out. A small part of me feels responsible for the crestfallen look, but as much as I want to stay a little longer, there's another place I need to be at right now. And frankly, another child to look after. No, not frankly another child to look after. Becca, get over yourself. Taking both of her hands, I kneel in front of her and muster the most rueful smile I can give. At her age, I'm quite sure she already understands what I'm about to say before they're even out. And remarkably, she doesn't look away or pout as I'm expecting her to.
I'm sorry. You know what? Rowan has a class with me on Monday around this time. Why don't you drop by again next week? After class? I'll even make sure to wait for you. It's just that I absolutely must leave now. My friend had an accident earlier, and I'm the only one she has here.
What about her mama and papa?
Her family lives really far from here, I'm afraid. Do you remember where Asia is? The southeast part? That's where they are.
Her eyes immediately light up at my question. Just like that, I know I've earned the girl's forgiveness.
Oh, just like Takako.
Who?
My friend. She said she used to live there, only just a little higher than southeast. But she hasn't come home in a long time, so she doesn't remember much about it anymore. Melody says it's weird I talked to her, but I think she's just shy.
Yes, Bella is not. She's a young woman, and there's a big difference. She's got the. Yes, yes, justice for fucking Isabella. My God, Becca needs to grow, not necessarily grow up. Just get over herself. She needs to get over herself. She's got that single child spoiled energy. Oh God. I just had another little bit of memory.
They could be good friends too. Don't you think so, Miss Pink?
Maybe if you introduce them properly, they will be.
That's what I think. Takako's just lonely. If she makes more friends, she won't be anymore. Is your friend like that too?
A little, possibly. To be honest, sometimes I can't tell with her.
Why are you still talking to this child about this? If this is so pressing, after all, Isabella has always been the kind to hold a smile, even when things have taken a turn for the worse. 5 years and one will think it's enough time to know a person. But when you consider it, come to think of it, all these years I've never, not even once, seen her cry. Yeah, that's because she's bottling it all up, and she's painting a smile in her face and dealing with her problems. That's not childish. Not over a trivial matter or even when things are tough.
Okay, you can go to her. I'll just show you my drawing next time.
I know what you mean. Not partner, parent, but I know what you meant. Yes, exactly. Can't stand it. Can't stand the mothering. The parenting. Okay, you can go to her. I'll just show you my drawing next time. Okay, she said that. Never mind.
Thank you. Remind me to buy you a huge glass of parfait, all right?
No, I'll get a stomachache. Takako says so. A small one is okay.
I'll remember that. Say hi to your friend for me.
I will. I'm sure she'd love to meet you too. See you, Miss Pink.
I'll see you later, Kylie.
London Bridge is falling down.
She doesn't look back or wait for any sort of goodbye from me. With a song and an extra spring in her step, she bounds across the corridor with as much spirit only a child her age can have. As if the conversation has ever taken any downhill turn for her at all. As if there isn't a single thing to worry about in the world. Not long after, she disappears behind a door, leaving behind strains of an old familiar rhyme lingering in the air. Carefree, unbidden, untroubled. Moments like this, I envy her. And if I resume my hurried pace, a tiny whisper at the back of my mind wishes the same can be said of myself and my own worries. Luxburn may be a small city, but it's no stranger to hellish rush-hour traffic. But surprisingly, getting out of the city today proves more of a breeze than a hassle. A relief, considering how none of my calls to Isabella have made it through. Either the reception's really bad over there, or she's ignoring them on purpose. Both does nothing to ease the disquiet in me. The rest of my drive passes without much incident as soon as I'm out of the busy streets. In less than 30 minutes, the mansion looms ahead of me. Wait, in less than 30 minutes? I thought you said it was an almost hour drive. What is it? For all the fuss Isabella made about the house, it remains a thing of beauty. Unlike Luxburn, the estate and the nearby Ansem village stand as its complete opposite. Oh, okay. Living and breathing the songs of the old, Oh my god, I'm having such a hard fucking time reading right now. Living and breathing the songs of old, whispers one of a once booming haven lingering in the air. Contemporary conveniences aside, it's a place I'm glad modernization hasn't wholly touched.
It's just a shame the locals know more of the silly hearsay than the history itself.
Oh, where?
If I could only knock some sense into these people.
Your big nerd brain knows more than others. Aren't you so cool, Becca? Fucking A. If only these people knew about the history. Shut up. You are so pretentious, Becca. Sadly, complaining is all I can afford to do. As much as I want to give them a piece of my mind, it isn't why I'm here. Why? For what? Shut up. I don't think these rich types will appreciate getting a lecture from me either. I have as much business with them as they have with me. With a heavy sigh, I give myself one last second to take in the scenery before heading up the main entrance. Oh, what do you mean they would have thought you were a witch and burned you? For what? Just for being a knowledgeable, or I don't know. Ooh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Most of the guests are... Oh, God. I am a fucking mess right now. Most of the guests are already heading out. Oh, I see. Yes. Yeah. It's just so annoying. It's like, they don't even know about the history. It's like, girl, keep it fucking together. Stop being so... You're stroking your own dick right now. It's just so pretentious. Alright, most of the guests are already heading out. Though some still linger, it's mainly just to take photos of the house's facade or its various rooms. I pause for a moment, scanning the small crowd gathered at the foyer, looking for any sign of that familiar ponytail among the sea of hats and heads.
No sign of her.
I'm telling you, she's gone. Ash picked her up. No sign of the other staff or Miss Cooper either. I can certainly look for Isabella on my own, but in a place this big, I'd be lucky if I didn't end up lost or find her before we need to meet with Zachary and Ash tonight. Sighing, I reach for my mobile and redial her number, the gesture familiar now after so many attempts earlier. If she doesn't answer, I can still try contacting Miss Cooper. I just hope the network reception will cooperate this time. This side of the county has never been popular with the tech savvy after all. To my relief, it only took 3 unsuccessful tries. At the 4th one, right as it's about to switch to another intercept message, the line finally rings. Silence follows while I wait for her to pick up, the ringing going far too long for my tastes. By now, most of the visitors have already cleared out. All I have for company are the faint murmurs and an eerie calmness left in their wake. A sudden hush settles and gives way to noises louder than they're ever meant to be. Doors creaking and slamming shut in some distant part of the mansion, floorboards groaning under the sheer weight of the house's history. In the now empty hall, they all reverberate with special clarity against the walls. Like this, oh my god, please, this ringing is driving me nuts. Like this, those old stories seem to almost have a ring of truth to it. I don't get to stray far into that ugly line of thought, however. Oh, finally. Not a second later, a click sounds from the other end.
Hello? Isabella? Miss Cooper called earlier and... Isabella? Belle? Are you alright?
Without any warning, the call gets cut off. Busy notes blare sharply against the heavy silence. Oh boy. But above the noise cutting through the mute air remains the faint cries of a woman. From beyond the foyer, my hand falls to the side as I cast a wary look around, waiting for someone to come running. Surely I can't be the only one hearing this. There must still be some staff hanging around, checking things out, but no one does. Not even when her sobs turn more frantic and anguished.
Excuse me? Hello? Who's there? Isabella? Isabella? Is that you?
No answer. Growing anxious, I amble over where her cries come from, each step slow and cautious towards a door on the other end of the room. While I'm far from someone who readily gives in to fear or stories lacking factual basis, the vague, restless feeling I have earlier immediately returns to me, and despite myself, my heart begins to race and my breathing quickens.
Belle? Belle, it's me. Miss Cooper called. Is everything okay?
Abruptly, all of it stops. My whole body tenses, mouth dragging in a ragged breath, ears straining for any other sound yet to come from the other side. But nothing follows. Instead, the quiet only lends itself to the heavy tension in the air, as if every small movement will disturb the fragile stillness hanging in the room. I wait for another second. Then, with a caution, I reach for the knob. My fingers barely graze the brass handle when a hand falls on my shoulder.
Excuse me.
Oh, she about to deck a bitch.
I am so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
I miss you, Rose.
No, it's a...
Still reeling, my gaze shifts back from the door, as if any second now the cries will start again, or whoever's inside will burst out of the room. But I don't get to dwell on these. The woman's worried voice breaks through the haze in my mind again, oddly soothing in the thick of my unease. Even if the concerned look comes from a total stranger, finally being in the company of someone else is somehow comforting.
Ma'am? Are you okay?
Ma'am? I love her. What a shame she had to be brutally murdered.
Oh, no, I'm fine. This is probably just some cold.
Do you need to sit down?
No need. I'm actually looking for a friend.
Okay, so I was just thinking, Becca hasn't seen the letter yet. But she already had some kind of freaky things happen to her just now. So maybe it doesn't take it's nothing to do. I don't know. I'm just pondering that. I wave the mobile in front of her. Yeah, like the gesture alone explains everything. Vaguely, I note my tight grip on it and quickly slip it into my pocket before she notices. She doesn't need to know.
Well, I'm not really sure if your friend would still be here. We're actually about to close the open house in a few minutes, ma'am.
No worries. She's not a guest here. She works for Briar Realty. Miss Cooper called me earlier. In fact, I'm also looking for her.
Look at that, her eyebrows lowered. She's like, that me, bitch. Recognition flashed in her eyes, and her rude expression dissolves into a smile at once. It's all I need to know that I don't have to look elsewhere or venture deeper into the mansion on my own. In some way, I'm not too keen on the latter right now.
Oh, Miss Rebecca Gales, is it?
Yes. Sorry if I'm a bit late.
It's not a problem. I was busy with the open house and a few clients anyway. It's actually a good thing you came when you did. Let's see. Isabella should be here somewhere. I told her to stay put earlier. That girl never listens.
Rose? Rosie? May I have a minute? There's just this one little thing before we go.
Miss Cooper's head immediately snaps up at the voice. In a blink, a different kind of smile spreads on her face. A smile still, friendly even, but the kind given mainly for the sake of pleasing other people rather than making friends.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there in a few.
It's an impressive thing, to say the least. That level of professionalism. I suppose working years in this kind of business trains you enough to be able to pull that off without batting an eye. It certainly doesn't seem to have rubbed off on Isabella, though.
Sorry, could you give me a second? I have to take...
Don't worry about it. I understand. I can wait a few more minutes. Clients, right?
You won't hear anything from me. Priorities, you know? But if you want, you can stay at the parlor in the meantime. I think we have a few refreshments left.
No, thank you. I'm going out with a few friends after this. Isabella's supposed to join us too. But that depends on how she's doing, of course.
Alright, this won't be long, I promise.
She throws me an apologetic look before sauntering over the small group gathered at the entrance. A couple, or siblings, and another woman, probably their secretary. You know, that's really creepy to think. I didn't even like, I mean, granted, I've seen it all before, but like, I wouldn't have even thought Hannah and Luke to be siblings. Like, just because they're both blonde, they just don't look like they're related. I don't know. But I guess, yeah, I can see that. Either way, they look no different from the other guests. All three of them primly dressed, albeit in a manner significantly simpler than the others. No frills, no extravagance of any form. But their gestures and movements alone speak volumes of their ingrained lifestyle. In their presence, I do what I can to appear inconspicuous on my side of the foyer. Maybe accepting Miss Cooper's offer would have been a much better choice than standing around awkwardly and gaping at them. All while also attempting my best not to listen in on their conversation, although that one proves more difficult with how enthusiastic the blonde woman is. Her voice easily echoes through the walls with only the five of us here. Pretty soon I find myself being drawn into their talk without meaning to.
Tomorrow? First thing in the morning?
First thing in the morning, ma'am.
The mundane talk isn't what catches my attention, however.
Very well. We'll have our lawyers prepare everything as soon as possible. Let's make this whole thing easier for everyone, shall we? Just let me know if there's anything you need from me. You know how to contact me, yes?
Got your mobile number saved here already.
Good. It's just a matter of time then.
It's a brief moment, a fleeting shift of my eye.
One day for us, Marianne.
As long as you're positive, we won't be having any problems by that time. You can count on my team.
You worry too much. Let me handle those things. Do be thrilled, though. I imagine it's not every day you get projects like this, hmm?
In the instant I turn my gaze on him, I see it. Oh, look, you can see that, like, aura around him right now. Ooh!
Oh, I'm certain Mint's ecstatic, Buttercup. Aren't you, Marianne? You know, we could all celebrate this with a few drinks. Why don't we? In fact, there's this really excellent Irish pub I visited a few days ago.
Looming. Hovering over his shoulders. Drawn to him like a moth to a flame. A dark blur. No. A shadow.
I think I'll pass on that, sir. I have more important matters to attend to.
Nada, love, she's busy.
Huh. What's happening? They're all turning into Alistair. They have like a radio voice filter on.
You never let me do anything fun.
What is happening to you, Becca? But as I try to make sense of it, a heavy feeling descends over my whole body. Oh, it happens without warning, forcing me to close my eyes. The sensation creeps to every part of me, crawling under my skin and draining me little by little of any strength. Before I know it, my hand is gripping the nearby door for support. The sudden nausea drowns out their voices and what little sound there is, all except for the whispers and laughters. Judging, mocking, taunting, muffled inaudible words bearing down on me like a death sentence. They wrap around my neck and limbs, neck binds tightening with every syllable, every utterance. And with each draw of breath I take, they drag me down slowly, almost painfully, into a bottomless abyss. On and on and on, till the sounds turn into mere distant echoes, until suddenly it shatters.
Well, what are we waiting for? Are we done here?
His voice rips through the fog like a sharp blade, and my eyes snap open. And then when I look to them again, it's gone.
You can head back to the car first if you want, Luke. I hope that settles everything, Rose. I don't know what Isabel's problem is, but please make sure she doesn't hurt herself. Anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Likewise, ma'am.
No shadows or dark clouds. Only amicable smiles and cordial handshakes. The usual pleasantries as Miss Cooper leads them out the mansion like a graceful host. None of the group seems to have noticed it, and even as I force my breathing to calm down, keep my eyes trained on their backs, and wait for something to happen, it doesn't come back. She returns a moment later. Gently, she closes the great doors behind her, but there's a smile on her lips and an extra skip in her step when she walks back to me. Whatever she was discussing with the group had put her in a good mood. Even she appears to have not observed anything odd. Was I just seeing things?
Glad that was over. It's been a long day. I thought for sure we were going to... hey, are you sure you're doing okay? You look a bit green.
It's all good. I'm actually still recovering from a cold.
You know, I was gonna say something. The ghost, I mean, I'm sure you've noticed it too. It picks people apart for, like, their insecurities and their traumas. Like, you can just tell, like, the thing with Marianne, it changed into her ex-lover. Like, somehow it knows everybody's, like, inner monologue and thoughts and, like, the shit that's happened in their past. Or maybe it's just, like, it is the ghost, but it's also just, like, the ghost is, like, fucking up their brains so that way they, like, have visuals of things, because there's no way the ghost would know what everybody's, like, interpersonal, like, traumas are, you know what I mean? So it's either the ghost is just, like, manipulating their, like, sense of reality in their, and then they're having the visions, like, as an individual. Because you know what I mean? Like, that, whatever Rebecca just, like, dealt with, it seemed like maybe something from, like, a past event. Like, who was scrutinizing her? Who was mocking her? You know what I mean? Like, who was doing that? So, perhaps the fog of the ghost has already, like, penetrated her brain, and she's having, like, visions of her past traumas, and it, like, weakens her psyche and everything. I don't know. There's a method to the way this ghost does stuff, and I'm trying to figure it out. Ooh. Oh, my back is hurting from this fucking chair. Ooh, okay, I think in like 20 minutes I'm gonna wrap it up. So it's time to go eat some supper. Oh, God. I had a very long day. I'm so tired. Shit.
Weather's been crazy lately.
That must be it. Me too. I live spoke games too. Oh, LOL. That must be it. The weather, this stupid cold, and the friendly warnings I'm too stubborn to listen to. As much as I hate to admit it, Isabella's right. I was and still am a little feverish, but when she visited me at school this morning, the medicine helped, of course, but only some. Yeah, I know what you meant. I just like to give you shit. Although it's not like I can't function, it did get better after lunch, and I was able to go through my schedule like the usual. Now I'm not so sure. However, I can't keep acting like I've seen some sort of apparition when it's anything but. I simply must have listened to too many of too many times to Isabella last week. My fever-muddled mind has started to confuse things. If this doesn't let up, I just need another visit to my doctor, plain and simple. Though I do hope it won't get worse. We did promise to watch Zachary's film together.
I know what you mean. I've been complaining to Isabel. It doesn't seem to affect her much, though. Must be because she grew up in the tropics. Anyway, shall we? She's probably hanging out with the rest of the catering staff.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised she's there. She eats like 10 hungry men when she isn't feeling well. Lead the way.
With a small nod, she gestures for me to follow. I do so without much thought, finally putting everything in the back of my mind. The entire visit took a whole 24 minutes, and my trip to the mansion, as it turns out, is a useless endeavor in itself. Isabel is no longer there, left shortly before I arrived, or at least that's what the few staff who saw her assumed. None of them knew where she went, but I can take a few guesses. There are only a couple of places in Luxburn she frequents, and well, she's never been the complex type. It doesn't really take a genius to figure it out. Still, it's odd she left on her own. She could have at least waited for Miss Cooper. It would have saved her having to pay the cab's fare twice today.
And right after she was told to stay put. I mean, who does that? Oh, sod off! You don't own the road!
In the end, all Miss Cooper could give me were a string of apologies for my trouble and a request to let her know when I find Isabella. The whole affair didn't even last long. I probably spent more time traveling back and forth. Soon enough, I'm weaving my way back to downtown Luxburn, worried sick, and on top of that, maybe a little annoyed. Whether at the unexpected turn of events or at Isabella herself, I'd rather not think about it for now. Not when I'm already running late for Zachary's film. Besides, I'm perfectly sure that that's where I'll find her. As one would expect, people are already gathered at the movie house when I get to it. The small avenue where it's located has been closed off early from any passing traffic to make way for the avid moviegoers who are sure to crowd the venue. I have to park almost a street away and walking the remaining distance because of it. Looking for them has taken a while in a crowd this big, but I eventually spot them near the entrance. Thanks to Zachary, mostly. And like I've surmised, Isabella's with them.
I knew it.
Wasting no time, I march over their little group. Words filled with concern tumble out of my mouth before I can stop myself.
Isabella! Oh, thank goodness! Becca, you're just in time.
An odd expression crosses her face as I hold it with both hands, but I ignore it in favor of getting a good look at her, forcing her to keep still and fix her gaze at me.
Becca, you're squishing my face. How are you? Are you all right? Why wouldn't I be?
There doesn't seem to be any visible injury, nor does she appear to be in pain. Apart from her confused frown at my questions, she looks pretty much like how she would any other day. Even so, you can't really tell those things with her at first glance. The last time she got sick, she never bothered to call anyone, even me, who lives right next door. If I hadn't checked on her then, she probably would have died on her bed with the rest of us, none the wiser. It's one thing we laugh about now, but moments like those also teaches you something about a person. If anything, it has given me more reason to constantly worry about her. In the moment a familiar name comes up, I know my concerns right now aren't completely baseless.
Rose called me earlier.
Her expression swiftly changes, and gently as she can, Isabella pushes my hands away. Yet, even before she says anything, I already have a hunch how this whole thing will play out.
Oh, no, everything's good. Rose covered for me at work today.
That's not what I'm talking about. How's your head?
Then and there, the whole conversation goes down as I've imagined. She dodges my hand when I reach for the back of her head, intending to check the said injury myself, even makes a show of hiding behind Zachary just to avoid me. That's funny. Instantly, what's supposed to be a simple inquiry dissolves into a shameless game of tag, shouting and chasing like none of us can be bothered to act like the full-grown adults we're all supposed to be. including Ashton. I won't put it past Isabella, but Ash, out of everyone, in fact, that stupid smirk on his face tells me anything, he finds this whole mess amusing. Oh, for the love of...
Isabella, this isn't a laughing matter.
She did look pale when I saw her.
Earlier. Why did you not say that word?
Wow, thanks a lot, Ashton, you traitor. I'll get you back for this, just you wait.
What? I'm just saying it as it is. If you mentioned this earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
There's a moment's pause, my hands still mid-air as my attention shifts to Ashton and the words he leaves hanging between the four of us. He doesn't meet my eye. I don't think he's even aware of what he said, but the meaning in each syllable alone is clear, and they echo. They sting. Oh my god, girl. But he likes her and he doesn't like me. They burn.
I'm sorry. Saw her?
Yeah, they arrived together. Bella looked fine to me then. I don't know.
Of course. Of course. Why else would Isabella leave on her own after being told to stay put after that little chat about money this morning? I know, she thinks everything should just be like handed to her in a way. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe I get. Well, she's always bossing people around and going off on everybody and being jealous of nothing. Like, as far as I know, Isabella doesn't even like Ash that way. Ash likes her. I mean, maybe she does a little, but she doesn't let on that she does. And so it's just kind of like, it's, you know what I mean? Like the whole love triangle bit, but one of the branches of the triangle, like, it is not even really a part of it. I don't know. It's just kind of annoying. Something close to silence falls while I mull over their words, both what's already been said and what's left unspoken. When I do find my voice, it only reeks with nothing but bitter, unpleasant thoughts. Thoughts I quickly stamp out before they surface. Thoughts I hide the best I can in the deepest parts of my mind, locking it away for no one to see.
Oh, that's good. At least she didn't have to travel alone, right? At least. Good.
Pardon me when I roll my eyes. Yet try as I might, the green-eyed monster... That's literally what I fucking called it! That's hilarious. The green-eyed monster easily rears its ugly head. Watch it back. When I played this scene as Isabella, I literally said, oh, green-eyed monster, which, I mean, it's just funny that she also phrased it like that. Like it always does every time his gaze lingers a second longer. You are so... a second longer. And yet you accuse Bella of being childish. This fucking childish jealousy over a crush that you've had since childhood is tiring. Get over it. Get past it. Either tell him how you feel and be rejected, or accept it and move on. God. Every time he smiles in a manner far too gentle, far too sincere, whenever he thinks no one can see. Every time my mind suggests his words mean more than they should. Every small little thing, despite what he says, despite his tone.
Look, you guys.
For all I know, it may just be the same kind of fondness born from friendship. Maybe I'm simply overthinking like he often tells me, or maybe there really is something there. But in his short display of impatience, I know the whole of it is just for show. After all, growing up together with him didn't teach me nothing about him. For whose sake it is this time, though? For him? For Zachary? For her? Or for me? That I can't tell.
If she says she's okay, then there's nothing we can do about it. It's not like we can stop her either.
I was just thinking, she definitely got that only child energy. Yeah, she sure does. I was just thinking and remembering that in the playthrough that I watched, they picked whenever like Ash and Zach were like, oh, talk to this historian or whoever he was and talk to the priest. They picked the historian, and then based off of that, because we met in the park with Zach. Remember we met in the park with Zach that one day? And he bought us like cinnamon rolls or something. There's a scene opposite of that where you meet Ash in the park to talk about that, and as Isabella. And I remember there being like a faint like he kind of flirted with her and he bought her like a gift, like kind of the same thing like Zach did, but he meant it in like a more like I like you way, and she kind of caught on to it and kind of was like, oh, this is nice. I'm just remembering that now. So perhaps she does like Ashton, but we didn't see that, so we wouldn't know.
Besides, she's still acting like the same old Isabella to me, if she can still run around like that.
Why are you taking her side?
What side is there to take?
I'm not. But if she wants to watch Zach's movie with us, I'm not going to stop her. She's probably the one looking forward to it the most.
Ash, that's... You, of all people, should know...
Tell you what, if I notice something amiss with her, I'll take her to the nearest hospital myself. Is that good enough for you?
My mouth opens and snaps shut almost as quickly, forming a thin, hard line instead. I can't respond, not because there's nothing to say. On the contrary, there's plenty, so many things I could use to reason and get him to agree. But because he speaks with much certainty, with much reassurance, it feels like there isn't even a choice. All I can give is a long, deep breath and a reluctant nod in the face of it. Before I can get a grip of myself and my own weakness, the mood immediately shifts and I'm being tackled into a hug.
Thanks, Becca.
It's always been you with him, isn't it?
I remember that line.
Did you say something?
Me? Nothing. Don't mind me.
Why are you such a coward, Rebecca? You can mumble shit under your breath as your friend, supposed friend, hugs you. Grow a backbone. You have one when you think you need one, and then when you need one, you just all of a sudden, it's gone. You're like a fucking noodle. A lie, obviously. What else can it be? Each and every smile, a tiny effort to keep things as they are, or so I tell myself. Little do I know this is merely a preamble. It starts out quietly and without fanfare, amidst friendly jibes and harmless teasing, with a scrap of paper fluttering harmlessly to the ground. One that looks suspiciously like a cheap Halloween prank, no matter how you look at it. And yet, despite how ludicrous it is, Isabella stubbornly insists, as if our whole life depends on acknowledging the truth in her story. Does she even realize how absurd she sounds now? Crivens. Even my students wouldn't fall for this.
Isabella, aren't you taking this a bit too far?
She doesn't give me time to regret nor think over my choice of words. From there it escalates, grows into an argument too petty even for our students as adults, or our standards as adults. Oh God. Before we know it, one after another, harsh, scathing words are being spoken.
It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first? I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me. If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Right. And in broad daylight, Isabella. Even someone gullible would find the logic in that screwed up. There's also no way in hell that this supernatural shit is true.
But it's real!
Oh.
What do you think I saw?
A hallucination? A delusion? Didn't you say you fell down some stairs? So maybe Rebecca's right.
It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing.
You know when Ashton said, oh, maybe Rebecca's right. Rebecca got a big boner for that.
We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
But someone has to be patient in all this, and however much my own has already been frayed earlier, and however much my own... Oh, patience. There's no one else. Who else here can deal with someone selfishly acting like a kid? The vocabulary she uses. Yeah, I hate how the terminology she uses to refer to Bella. Oh my god. Like every other time, it has to be me.
We are, and you know that. But this thing and that thing has got nothing to do with the other. When Rose called earlier, I thought she's just exaggerating. But based on what I'm seeing right now, maybe it's better if we really postpone this for now.
Don't bother.
Just like that, she cuts us off. Slams the door right in our faces while my own temper flares before I can stop it. Although it falters briefly at the hard expression on her when she snatches the blasted paper from Ashton, I hold on to it. Regardless of how upset she appears, soured expression and balled fists, throwing a tantrum is simply unacceptable. For a grown woman at that, she is not throwing a tantrum. Ooh, Becca. Your snide fucking comments. Words form at the tip of my tongue, ready. I'm ready for you to eat your words, Becca. I hope you get big haunted. Big haunted. But before I can open my mouth and let all of it out, her feelings and mistakes be damned, Zachary raises a voice of his own.
Guys!
Yes, voice of reason, Mr. Zach. A warning underneath the warm and hopeful beat in his voice. We all stop and look at him, and even my own anger subsides a little at his tone.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her. And hey, ain't this supposed to be a happy get-together?
To an outsider, it may sound like a desperate request, but Zachary has already been the one to keep a level head over petty squabbles. Yeah, I know. I was just thinking the same thing. It's like, what was your demise, Zach? Are you okay? Will we see you again? Oh. What's new on this day? Oh, I didn't look at this one. Aw, little Kylie. She's so cute. Okay, I want to get to like the next scene and then I'll be done. This time's no different. He knows what to say, and when he lets it fall, they only ring sharp and true.
We haven't seen each other for months. I'd really love to know what y'all have been up to. I only ever get to talk to Bella over chat. Please.
And as careful as he is with his own tone, it does make me feel ashamed. We're supposed to be here for him, to give what little support we can give, yet here he is trying to keep 3 stubborn people from outright hashing it out in public. Later we can and will talk about it, of course. There's a proper time and place for it, and at the moment my anger and whatever reprimands it carries no longer matter. Beside me, Ashton appears to have already caught on. The lines of his shoulders eased to something much more relaxed, his expression back to its usual nonchalance. Isabella, however, she stands perfectly still, her hands clasping the straps of her bag like a lifeline, eyes trained at some point near her shoes. There's no anger in her face, only an undeniable hurt. But she's never been good at hiding what she thinks, usually always the open book, always the one to wear her heart out in the open. But when she looks up, her answer is also as simple.
If we keep arguing here, we're going to miss the first few minutes.
Her lips are curled up in a smile, though lacking both its usual brightness and glee, it's a smile nonetheless. I've seen it countless of times. It's the very same one she would show when she knows has no longer choice, and no other choice, or simply when things get tough for her. But despite everything I already know about her, it still catches me off guard. In all honesty, I expected her to run, to balk at the first sign of losing this time. I won't even be surprised. At 26, she is still the youngest among the rest of us, less experienced, less accustomed to dealing with trivial quarrels like this. Yet here she is, holding herself and coping with it like how she would with matters concerning her family. Outside of that, to me, she has always been this childish, naive girl, and watching the opposite play out right now. Somehow I find it difficult to wrap my head around.
All right, that's the Isabella I know.
Oh, good. I thought for sure you were going to cry.
But I envy her.
What's that for?
Stop calling me a crybaby. I'm not one.
Oh, don't cry.
Stop it.
I envy her spirit, her warmth, her cheer, the shine in her eyes when she looks at the world. How everything seems to simply fall back to a pleasant, lively rhythm with her around. How easily and tightly she fits into our lives, even without bonds only long years could forge, like a lost piece of a puzzle despite her jagged edges. How she draws people to her with ease. How Ashton of all people can be drawn to her.
Okay, scaredy cat then.
That too. If you repeat that, I swear I'll...
Let's just go.
I make no effort keeping the bitterness from my tone. I let it linger stiffly in the air as I avert my gaze from them. From their playful banter, their friendly teasing remarks, and Ashton's tender, affectionate smiles. All before the stabbing aches in my heart change into something too painful to bear. It's all in my head is what I'd often tell myself. Yet the way my heart rends at just the sight of them hurts. And like a coward, I walk away from all of it, taking with me a small hope the movie will distract me away from these thoughts. Because like this, it's easy to find something to hate in her. Dusk has already given way tonight when we leave the film fest. Unfortunately, it does nothing to improve my mood like I am hoping, neither does the muggy air that greets us upon stepping back into the noisy streets. Too busy, too loud, too many people taking what little space the sidewalk offers. It forces anyone to bump shoulders with those they barely know, let alone care about. On a normal evening, I probably wouldn't have minded the crowd nor the humid weather. It's not like any of them are bothering anyone. Yeah, exactly. She envies Bella to the point where she just like kind of, I don't know, not hates her, but she just got like a weird like disdain for Bella based off the fact that Bella is like a shining bright beacon of light that everybody's drawn to. Maybe get the stick out of your ass, Becca, and then maybe people will like you a little more. Just a thought. Quit being so fucking uppity all the time and trying to parent and mother everybody. Maybe you'd be a little bit more likable. I don't know. Maybe live a little. Maybe... just some speculation. On a normal evening, I probably wouldn't have minded the crowd nor the humid weather. It's not like any of them are bothering anyone. I may have already read that, but whatever. And yet, even with what's admittedly a pleasant company, I can't bring myself to lighten up.
So you got some other time?
Oh, is this after she saw a spook?
Yeah, see ya.
Not even to return the smiles Ashton and Zachary gives us when we go our separate ways. Perhaps this started with Miss Cooper's call, or earlier than that, maybe even the moment I left bed this morning. Bloody hell, it could have been because of that sodding letter for all I know. I couldn't care less at this point. All I wanted is to get a warm bath, sleep, and wait for this dreadful day to end. Now, if only Isabella would stop babbling, then maybe this dull throbbing at the side of my head won't turn into a full-blown headache, too.
Zach did a pretty good job with his movie, didn't he? Even though Ash said he ran into some trouble late into filming. But I knew he had it in him. It's not like I didn't believe he couldn't do it. I mean, did you see his face after the credits rolled? All those months he worked on this, and everything's finally...
You weren't even watching.
Only the first minutes. I watched the rest of it, I swear. Besides, Ashton was the one who wouldn't stop asking questions.
Well, why do we still need to talk about this then? I liked it. Ash liked it. You liked it. Shouldn't you be telling that to Zachary in person? I'm sure he'll appreciate it better than I ever will.
I know that, but
I'm just like
maybe there's something you want to say?
Yeah, she goes, you got something on your mind, Becca?
Zach had you check the scripts before he went through everything, didn't he? You also worked on it. even if it was only for a short time. So, maybe you want to...
I don't bother waiting for the rest. The moment I spot my car, I immediately make a quick beeline for it. Knowing her, this is merely another attempt at starting a conversation, just so we'll have something to fill the dead air, to replace the strained atmosphere we've somehow walked into. No, not somehow walked into, that you drummed up in your own mind. Bella did nothing wrong, and you are just a bitter, miserable, cranky bitch. And now you seem to think that this is some beef that you both came up. You didn't. You drummed this all up on your own, Becca. And everything she fucking says, it's like, get over yourself. One thing, the very thing I'm not too keen to deal with at present. And fuck, fuck me for her, trying to make pleasant conversation with you and, get past whatever this weird thing is that you guys are arguing about. It's like, she's just trying to be a good friend. I keep confusing the two. Becca is an awful friend. Awful. Be redeemed, please, Becca, because I can't stand you. From the beginning of this game, none of us could stand you. Behind me, Isabella also changes her pace. I think this day's almost over, so I'm just going to plow through and finish it up. Behind me, Isabella also changes her pace to match mine. Her soft strides grow brisk and uneven in order to catch up. A small part of me half expects she'll suddenly trip. She's not the clumsy sort, but there are definitely times when she can be the least coordinated person on the planet.
Becca, hey! Oh no. Wait for me!
People wonder why I worry. They're not really completely unfounded once you've already grown familiar with her habits. Though right now this is also at the very end of the list of things I want to think about. Sometimes it does become overbearing. Even her voice as she calls after me sounds nothing more than background noise to my ears now.
Rebecca, slow down, will you? Your car's not going to leave without us.
The sooner we get on the road, the earlier we can get home. It's Friday, in case you didn't notice.
It is Friday, you're right. Gotta get down.
I know what day it is, but the traffic's not going to magically disappear, even if we go there right now.
I don't want to hear that from you. Didn't you used to complain how horrendous the traffic is back home for you?
Yeah? But that doesn't have anything to do with this, Becca.
Okay. What do you want to do then? Wait it out? Walk? I just want to go home, Isabella.
My God, Becca, get the bug out of your ass.
If you want to stay out here longer, I won't stop you. But leave me out of it. I'm not up for any other foolish excursions tonight.
I wasn't thinking about an excursion. I want to go home too. It's already late. It's just that you've been in this prickly mood since earlier.
Call her out.
Are you really okay? Was it the cold? Or did something happen at school? Do you want to talk about it?
Bella just continually proving that she is the better friend. Just continually proving it. She has been through so much today. So much. And still has the, patience for Becca's bullshit. And can be sweet. Even when Becca is literally giving her, the cold shoulder and dismissing everything she fucking has to say. I love you, Bella. A long pause follows, and it holds everything she's been meaning to ask from the very start. I'm in no mood, but all the same, my hand stops short of unlocking my car, and my grip on the handle tightens. Oh boy. I can feel her eyes boring on me, waiting, hoping patiently for any answers I'd give. She's the same as Zachary, they're bad liars. But when you talk to people like them, if you're not careful, they often leave you with no other choice but to admit the truth, those exact same ones I can't voice. Despite my lack of response, she pushes me, surprisingly. This time her tone is quieter, more tentative than usual.
Was it because of because of the letter?
It's a well-meaning question, much like the rest of this talk, yet something in how she says it irks me.
If it is, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to cause a scene. I did see something in the mansion, though. I wasn't lying about that.
Wherever she wants to take this, I no longer want to hear a word of it. Not at this minute, preferably never. Especially when there are already a million other things buzzing and prodding inside my head. Oh, finally a choice! Sometimes my patience can only be tried for so long. Oh. This probably has to do with Bella staying and not going home. I don't know. We didn't even get the choice for that one. We just got yanked up here and now we get to answer this question. But it seems like the outcome doesn't really matter for now. Look at this though. Look at all this bullshit. Look at what we'll miss. Oh my god. Well, here we are. We're at this crossroads right now. I know, we really are. There's a lot. We'll get there. After I finish this game, though, I'm going to take a bit of a break. Maybe one of you guys want to play it. It's not a very expensive game. Or we could just play it on our own. I mean, I'd be down to play it again, but I'm going to physically plow through the game. Like, we'll just stop on options, but give her the cold shoulder. Wait, give who the cold shoulder? Okay, I'm not in the mood to talk. This cold. So, when you say give her the cold shoulder, do you mean say I'm not in the mood to talk? Or the one that actually has the word cold in it? Give her the cold shoulder. One or two? Should I be a bit? I think you mean the top one. Yeah.
And during the open house, even if there were a lot of people around, there were weird things happening. I don't know if there was anyone else who noticed, but I heard things.
So did you, Becca. So did you. This should be clicking in your mind right now. It's like, oh shit, some weird things happened to me too, specifically while I was there at the open house. Click, light bulb, there should be something going off in your brain right now.
I'm sure it wasn't because I fell down the stairs. Even before that, in the attic,
Will you give the sorting letter a rest already?
Literally, fuck you, Becca. Fuck you. The effect is immediate. Abruptly, Isabella clamps her mouth shut. Oh. God, literally, fuck you, Becca. Look at her. She looks like a sad puppy. Oh. Hurt flickers across her face as she looks away and her shoulders droop, all before the thought of holding back on my tone or how she'll take every word crosses my mind. When the realization does hit after that, a twinge of guilt washes over me at once. But with all that has already been said and done, what am I supposed to tell her then? That I'm someone who can be so easily unsettled by my own assumptions? And this is all because she thinks Bella and Ash have something going on. That's what this whole fucking bitter mood is about. Yeah, literally. That this stupid sulk has been brought upon by some equally stupid jealousy. Yes. Oh, damn. Down with Ash, down with Isabella. Sure. You're gonna make no friends, Becca. That the simple glimpse of her and my childhood friend together infuriates a part of me. It's so petty. Or that I wish I've been in her place during those times instead. True or not, I owe her neither of those, and if anything, she's the last person I want to know about that.
Look here. I'm not in the mood for this kind of talk tonight. My head is aching and I'm tired. I don't want to hear about the dumb letter, or the mansion, or whatever it was you saw in the bloody attic. Just get in the car and we're going home.
Literally the bloody attic. LOL.
Sorry. I won't mention it again.
Oh.
If you're so worried about it, why don't you just throw the blasted thing away?
You make it sound so easy.
Because it is. Here, hand it over, and I'll do it for you. Might as well shred it up while we're at it.
I hold a hand out to her, though the gesture is without any expectations. She's nothing if not stubborn, and it isn't surprising when she turns the offer down with a swat of her hand.
Rebecca, just leave it alone, okay? I get it. You don't want anything to do with it.
Good. I hope that settles it.
And this is, I think, after she just saw the ghost again in, like, a store window. So she's just thinking, like, well, it's nice that you don't want to fucking deal with it, but here I am, having no choice in the matter, having to deal with it.
Yeah, just forget I mentioned anything.
Oh.
I'll figure it out myself.
Oh. Just like everything else, Bella's left with all this fucking weight on her shoulders. That makes me stop again. This time I turn to look at her, searching her face for an explanation. But all she offers me is a sidelong glance and another one of those pained looks before climbing on the passenger seat and closing the door behind her. Somehow, even with the steady din of traffic around us, the sound of that feels heavier, weighted with everything we refuse to utter tonight. This is what I want, isn't it? Certainly doesn't feel like it. Thankfully, if there's anything left to be spoken between us after, we won't have to discuss it on the way home. Or rather, we can't. Because no sooner than we hit the road, Isabella dozes off. Despite my foul mood, I still end up suppressing a laughter once the first sounds of her breathing fill my car.
Mama?
Not your mom, Isabella.
Slow and steady, the quiet rhythm so completely unlike her, so far from every impression anyone has of her. A few faint whimpers will occasionally come from her, but otherwise it's just us. The silence, and it's so utterly unexpected. Still a welcome break, of course. Peace and quiet is one thing you'll rarely get with her around. Yet it's nowhere near comforting. It merely lends the air this strange clarity. Every little sound, every single moment or movement more palpable. And with it comes the unease. A jolt of surprise hits me. It's almost comical if this were a different situation. In my haste, I accidentally dislodged my mobile from its seat on the dashboard when I swiped on the screen. Soon I'm scrambling blindly for it with my other hand while keeping a steady eye on the road ahead. A voice crackles from the loudspeaker before I can put it back. Although muffled heavily by the surface, I recognize the person on the other line from her chipper tone alone.
Hello?
Miss Cooper?
Oh, you're still awake. Evening. I hope I didn't disturb you or anything. I know it's a bit late. Sorry about that. I just want to check on you and Isabella. That girl's still not answering her mobile. Were you able to meet up with her?
Why is it so choppy?
Yes. She's with me. We're on our way home.
Hello? What was that again? I can't hear you properly.
Sorry. Let me just fix this dumb phone.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! I knew there was something fucking weird. My hand stops dead for a moment. I spare the device a brief glance, waiting. Seconds pass. Nothing happens, though. Frankly, I'm not sure what I'm expecting, but the lines of my mouth form into a frown regardless.
Miss Cooper?
Yes, still here.
Oh, yeah, it's not right now. It's in a couple days. But, like, that static isn't in the background of every phone call. And so I was like, oh, something's about to fucking happen.
Did you say something?
Just that I didn't get the last part. What were you saying again?
No, I thought you... Never mind. Must be the signal acting up. Coming in?
What?
Is everything all right over there?
Certainly. Is something wrong? What wouldn't?
This is getting so corrupt.
Okay, you seem to be busy. if this is a good time, I can just call you back some,
Christ. I have to make a conscious effort not to panic right then and there, and although my tight hold on the steering wheel tells a different story altogether.
Miss Cooper? Rose? Hey, Rose! Are you still there?
Only a burst of static answers me, and... maybe this lapse is entirely because of exhaustion. It has been a long day, and I haven't fully recovered from last week's bout of flu, contrary to what I've been telling people. Though perhaps, had I paid closer attention to it, had I not been so occupied with other thoughts, I probably would have noticed earlier that it never came from my phone, but from somewhere right behind me. Oh my god. Time slows to a crawl. Looking up is a mistake. First thing I see is its face, a ghastly shade, every inch battered, bruised, and bloodied. Even in the darkness and the world passing by in a blur of lights outside, I can still make out the wounds. Blood still oozes from it, little trails of crimson running down its face, glistening under what little light there is. But it is the gleam in its eyes that catches mine. The quiet plea, the anguish, the desperation in them, more than its hideous features and the awful stench of gore now soak in the air. And try as I might, I can't bring myself to look away, even as its lips contort into a horrific smile. Even as a sharp, harsh noise pierces the air and the silence around us.
Rebecca!
God!
Car! Eyes on the road!
Against everything I've been taught, and I've constantly reminded myself, I close my eyes. It's a brief moment, short, vivid second of muscle memory and instinct completely taking over. If I didn't allow it, if my hands didn't move or my feet didn't hit the brakes in that exact second, Isabella and I might have. No. I shake the notion away before I lose myself in it. Right now it's an ugly line of thought I refuse to venture into, not when breathing is a struggle and every ounce of strength has been totally drained from my body. This sound... I mean... it can be perceived differently if I weren't talking. Most definitely not while Isabella's panicked voice beside me still rings in my ears. We're alive. We're safe. That's all that matters. But it is not her face that I look for when I finally open my eyes. All gone. I expected stains, little telling marks and creases on the covers to show me where it sat not a second ago. But whatever it left not a single trace. And though courage is a hard thing to gather at this point, I take what little of it remains in me and turn towards the back seat. Even then there's none. Or was there really something in there in the first place? With how empty it is, I'm beginning to doubt it. This stupid flu again.
I need a long rest after this.
My hands fall uselessly to my sides, numb from how taut my grip on the wheel has gone, yet still trembling from the unexpected rush of adrenaline. Against my ears, my heart still pounds in erratic rhythm, and my breathing hasn't slowed down. But the world has already righted itself without waiting for me, and little by little, second after second, as I sit here motionless, color begins to seep back around me. Along with it are the sounds and a voice, no longer the indistinct ringing it was earlier.
Becca, are you okay? Answer me, will you? You're scaring me. You know what? I think we should just call a taxi since...
Can you keep it down?
Oh my god, you are insufferable. Strained, harsh, and completely unintentional. But with heat prickling at the back of my eyes and the mild throbbing at my temple, I could honestly do with a little silence for now.
Keep it down? We almost crashed, Becca!
Tell her, Bella.
I know what happened. It was a lapse. I'm sorry.
A lapse? You call that a lapse?
Yes. Read her to Phil. Do it.
Becca, I really don't want to end up a mangled mess on the side of the road, or a mangled mess anywhere. All I'm asking, if the time ever comes, which I hope isn't right now, is a peaceful death. Give that one to me at least. Not that I'm asking for it, but please.
Isabella. Belle, you're overreacting.
You almost killed her, and I get the reasons why, but you did.
If you're so worried, why don't you drive?
It's not the point. That's not the point, Becca.
Don't have a license.
Own up to it.
I keep telling you to get one, didn't I? For the past 5 years.
This is literally gaslighting. Becca, you almost got this whole situation fucked for the both of you. And now you can't even be the one to be... She has yet to apologize.
Do you see why now?
I wasn't really expecting to stay here this long. I thought it'd just be for a year or two.
Why are you making her feel bad for what? For being a sleeping passenger in your fucking car? It was your job to get her home. All of a sudden, a pensive mood comes over her. Yeah, no shit. You've just somehow blamed her for what you just did. No wonder she's pensive. Isabella looks away then, while what's left of my little lecture never crosses the tip of my tongue. I don't allow it to, because in each of those words she let loose earlier is a small truth. Her stay has always been meant to be something fleeting. Earn some good money, go home. It's what she'd tell herself during her first year here. Now, half a decade later, I'm not sure if she still believes that. Even I'm not sure if I still believe it. And if there's something in her reasons that has changed along the way, even if I already have a hunch, it's one thing I'll never bother to ask. Those are hers to keep.
I'll be careful this time, I promise. Just please. Can we give this whole thing a rest for now?
Whole thing? This is an entirely separate incident from what just fucking happened before and your petty jealousy. You almost killed the both of you. And like I said, I understand the circumstances, but she still has yet to apologize. She nods, and that is the end of it. We spend the rest of the trip back to Salem well in silence. All thoughts of an overactive imagination playing tricks on a flu-addled mind, and of smiles never meant for my eyes abandoned, if only for a brief moment. I'm gonna look at this real quick. Really? We're still only right there, huh? Wow. Okay, hopefully this is the end of the day because Okay, good. Wait, holy moly. Tuesday. We just jumped ahead a whole bunch of days. So we were on this day, and now we're on this day. That's a lot of days that we just missed, because this was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and this is Tuesday. Interesting. Alright, I am going to save. And then we're going to wrap it up there because I'm hungry, I want supper, and I'm sure Matt wants some help with that. So, let's leave this game. Exit. And we'll go to the old intermission screen. Thanks for watching with me. This has been a... I get so mad playing Becca. I hate the way she talks. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Gotta go. Yeah, it's been an interesting one for sure. Anyway, I don't have anything much to say. I'm getting hungry and I'm very tired. Okay, adios. Thanks for watching. Bye.